Greetings, it's Intuitive Jacob, your shaman and cosmic midwife, and I'm back to do a reading for what they couldn't, or in some cases didn't, admit to you. And we're going to be doing a pick your cards reading. So we're going to be actually pulling from these 4 decks that you see here before me. If you're interested, they're also listed below. Thank you for your support here. I appreciate the thumbs ups and the subscriptions. And for all of you that are interested in these decks, if you do purchase them below with my Amazon link, Amazon actually sends me a little cash tip. So appreciate that if you're interested. We're going to be reading with the Queen of the Moon Oracle cards, with the Shadowscapes Tarot, with the Island Times Wellness Love Oracle cards, and with the Tarot of Sexual Magic. Bless you, baby. We're going to deal those cards. You'll see me shuffling here in a little bit. I want you to just focus on your situation. Alright, loves, we have shuffled and dealt all 3 decks of cards. So please have a look and see which one resonates most with you. We've got the Tiger's Eye, Red Jasper, and Indigo Gabbro. Pick your cards, and we'll catch you on the inside of your reading. Alright, love, you must have chosen deck 1. Beautiful Tiger's Eye. And we have 3 Shadowscapes cards. The first one is for you. The third one is for them. The one in the middle is for your situation. And then I have these 3 Oracle cards here. We've got 1 Tarot of Sexual Magic, 1 Love Oracle card, and 1 Queen of the Moon Oracle card. Sort of an advice. All right. Hi. All right. A little sip of this coffee. let's start with your first card. Wow, that is the Sun. This is a major arcana. Let's have a look at their card. We have the Page of Pentacles. Got nice and up close so you can see it. Here. Come on. So, there we go. See that heart? Put it down. And this card is what you have in common. It's got the Seven of Swords. I'm going to go ahead and stop there before we go any further. And the first thing that I'm hearing actually with the Seven of Swords here as this disposition is that it's somebody's wearing a mask. And so for one or both of you, this could be both of you actually is what I'm hearing. But definitely more for one person than the other. If it seems like someone's just been covering up their feelings, I'm hearing that is definitely the case. So let me just grab this little munchkin here, where she is not going to settle down here. The Seven of Swords energy is often sometimes it can be a certain kind of confrontational loss that happens in what seems like a less confrontational way, because sometimes people do it behind your back, or they think they did it behind your back, but usually somebody else has witnessed it. So other times this is a card that for me is sort of like head games, and it's not always the case that somebody is instigating a head game with the other person. Sometimes it's a head game that they're stuck in with themselves, where it's like that false mask where they're not really quite seeing themselves well enough to be honest with another person. And I'm hearing for some of you all that has absolutely been the case. With regard to you here, the Sun, this is major arcana energy, and I'm hearing it's like just outright epiphany for some of you. Whatever this is that's been going on with you, you're going to know whether or not this is your story and whether or not these are resonating with you or with your truths. But I'm hearing for some of you all that this is more just going to be like confirming some of the things that you already know, because this is a person being illuminated. This is also speaking a lot to, I'm hearing Leo, and so you might be dealing with a Leo if this isn't in your own chart. And it can be moon or rising. A lot of times with me, this is moon or rising signs that show up for people. But I'm hearing humiliating letdown for somebody, that it was like, it felt like a humiliating letdown. But they're saying if that's the case, it's like whoever this was just, I'm hearing inexperienced. I'm hearing it very specifically stated like that, like inexperienced. And you're going to know if that's the case or not. This could be a younger person. They might be younger than you. Or if that's not the case, I don't appreciate saying things like younger or older. I've been so patronized about my own age with people that they're like, weird because maybe they draw certain assumptions because I look really young. And I think a lot of millennials, actually, some of my clients even that talk to me, it's like people in millennial age, it's like understanding things but being sort of like patronized by the establishment or other people and just feeling like, yeah, just because I'm like younger than you think I'm stupid. And I'm hearing that it kind of might be a weird thing with this person if they're like in that generation and you are in a different generation, because it's like there's still a certain level of inexperience they might have had with regard to their own self-disposition, like how they put themselves out is what I'm hearing. It's like how they can even relate to themselves well enough to connect with you even on that level if they haven't really faced themselves like that yet, is what I'm hearing. And I'll throw that into the category of Earth tribe people, so people that might have their sun, their moon, or their rising in one of the Earth tribes, like Taurus. I'm definitely hearing Taurus. Virgo, big time hearing Virgo, or Capricorn. And it could be their sun, their moon, or their rising, but I'm hearing, especially if they're like in the millennial age group, is what I'm hearing. It's like, I'm just hearing that specifically, that might be the case with them, and that it's more of like just not having a clear lens on who they are yet if they're under the age of having had their first Saturn return. So if they're not quite yet like 28 or 29 and they haven't had that check with Saturn, it's like it's almost catching them at an unfair time because of where Saturn has been and Pluto and all of this stuff going on in Capricorn, where it's like been all these reversals going on with the retrogrades. It's like it's kind of forcing them through early is what I'm hearing. And so I'm seeing just two people here that in some cases it's like how you cheated each other because it was like crappy communication. It's like, and when I say crappy communication, I'm hearing it's like there might have been like nonverbal. It was like nonverbal. It was just like you just kind of like repelled is what I'm hearing. And they're even just showing me like it's just like the conversation just didn't happen. And I'm hearing for some of you, it's whatever was going on over your head on this side, whoever, if this is you, you're gonna know if this is you or not. It's like I'm just seeing these things like flying over this person's head and they're having like all these ideas, these epiphanies. And I'm hearing that it's like when it comes to the context of this other person, it's like one person has all of this idea because it's like even the light in the sky here, it's starting to look gray because there's so much gray in this card and so much darkness on this side here in these cards, that it's like the person with the epiphanies was sort of like, I'm hearing being squelched a little bit. It was like you wanted to have this conversation, but you would have to be on the high ground, like up here where the stones are and like ready to fly. And somebody was more like focused on the ground, and I'm hearing it was just more on their material matters, and that's going to happen with Page of Pentacles anyway. Bless you, baby. That's just a different kind of personality than, bless you, than this kind of more sunshiny energy where it's more like Leo. It's more boisterous and outgoing. I'm hearing this person might have like some wallflower tendencies, and even if they're out there, because they have a light, they're working with a light here, they're making money, they're wise, they're here with the owl. They have their own kind of private world idea, and I'm hearing it's like there's a certain kind of modesty, and I'm hearing that it was like they wear a mask, however they're doing this, and I'm hearing that whatever was going on your mind here, you were concerned because you're ready to be out in the open. I hear it's like you really landed, and I just see some of you just like landing something. It's like you put your flag in the ground, so to speak. Maybe you planted yourself in a new house, or you've done some things that are working, your job is good, your money's good, whatever it is, and you are ready to share that. And then I see this other person, it's kind of like they're still out in the open, but it's kind of like they cover up a certain way, even though they're open, because the guy is almost like naked. He's open-chested here, and he's just kind of looking away. There's a mask on his face, and then there's these birds around him. And so I'm hearing for you, it's like you need to know there were at least two other options. And so for some of you, you're going to know if this was somebody that actually was cheating on you, because there's different stories here. I'm hearing for some of you all, that might have been the case with some of these situations. If this was a relationship that you had, I'm hearing if somebody stepped out and cheated and you have a friend that might have passed in July, is what I'm hearing. I'm hearing Seven of Swords is like when they had died or something. It doesn't have to have been this July, but if that's the case, very specific situation, I'm hearing three. 1, 2, 3. There were at least like 3 or 4 cheating scenarios with that person, and I'm hearing it was witnessed, and you know that. But I'm hearing for somebody else, like the ones where it was just like repelled communication, where you weren't communicating. It's like whatever was going on over your head and what you knew, what you were concerned about, that, you know, did they have somebody else, or were they interested? Because I'm hearing for you, it was like trying to figure out, are you available? You know, it's like, can we talk and just be open about it? And I see you over here with like 7 at least different options that you might not even know. It's like you just have options coming to you, and it might not even be just relationship stuff, but I'm hearing for some of you all, it's like you are so lit up right now. You're so lit up. It's like you are the sun, and you probably aren't seeing yourself right yet, because that's why I had to get this stone out for you. Why this is about tiger's eye. The eye of the tiger. What some of you all have been consistently being to even have that card show up here, because this is like magic moments, things you can be, have, and do. And I want to tell you that, especially if you had some like nincompoop, boohoo, nitwit that cheated on you, if you're in that category, you've got so many better things here for you. And I just want you to know that. Now, for the ones where it was just like communication not happening, oh, you were wondering, do they have another option, or are there other people? And at first I was seeing 2, but I'm like, I'm seeing other birds and people like around them, but I'm hearing it's like they're not really that impressed with those people, is what I'm hearing. And so that's something good for you to know. I'm hearing, if anything, they're kind of interested to know about your options, and that they're feeling more like modest, concerned. Demure is the word I'm hearing. Demure. I hear they know what's going on. They're very intelligent. It's like they have people that are admiring them, is what I'm hearing. And I don't know if you can see this here, but whatever it is they're doing for their work, they might have been cheated recently, and you don't know about it. I'm hearing that, like, for some of you, this is like not a very, like, for everybody situation, but let me see if I can get that to show up here. Camera, please. Right there in that corner. There you go. See, there's like 3 faces right there. Maybe 4. It's like faces in this deck. This deck is awesome. Highly recommended. If you're interested in any of these decks that I've been working with, the links are below. This is the Shadowscapes. This is the Tarot of Sexual Magic. This is the Love Oracle cards. And this is the Queen of the Moon Oracle. But anyway, there's like people that are watching them. And I'm hearing for some of you all that this 7 of Swords is like, this might be a situation for some of y'all if you haven't had communication with this person, or it's been like, I'm hearing if it's like you feel like you both got cheated of the chance to start it right, is what I'm hearing. It might be because of where you both met. It's like your juncture point where you were both being, I'm hearing, screwed over big time. I'm hearing that might be like how you guys even interfaced and you didn't even realize it. And it's like whatever they were doing for work out in the open, and whatever you were like busy doing and being, because it looks like you're having like all kinds of epiphanies and like shining light on people and like being the light. I see this person just being like gregarious and just like offering light everywhere. Being this bird here too, because I'm seeing this as like the 2 of you here like trying to figure out how to, like, because it's like being in between a rock and a hard place. I'm hearing that this is the rock and a hard place card, where it's like, you know, maybe you're that bird right there that's like learning how to fly and get on the high ground after maybe you were down there under the rocks, and that's them right there. I'm hearing that this might be like how you actually met. It was like you were both kind of being like crucified for whatever you were doing openly, is what I'm hearing. Might have had to do with your work, just like being open, because that's the thing about the Seven of Swords card. If it's not like a mental sort of screw up, and the reason why it would be is because swords is mental, it's communication energy. If it's something that's done in the open, it's like what people see, because it's always like a theft happening in the open. And here it's like, I don't really see a theft. It's just like these swords, there's like 7 of them here, and he's holding one, and he might be getting ready to take off with one, but I kind of feel like he's looking for a place to hide also. And so it's like things we might mentally do when we have dark thoughts going on. And so I'm hearing it's like that might be like the crux of how you got brought together, and where no step was ever taken. Because it's like both your backs were sort of to each other is what I'm hearing. And so that might be why you're here. But I'm hearing you were both busy, like, you know, being your thing. And they're saying if that's the case, it's like whoever these people are that are in their life, like in his life or her life over here, you know your own gender, please. I would say her just looking at this picture here, but this could be anybody, okay? Whoever these people are that like admire them, it's I'm hearing they prop themselves up on her or on him. They like need that person there so that they have this seat where they can even be. It's like without them there sitting up here, if they're not sitting here being who they are and doing that for their money or whatever, it's like these have no home. It's like they have no place to go, is what I'm hearing. And so it's like, even if they're inexperienced, you know, or like they haven't had that Saturn return and now they're like being forced to go through it real early, you know, it's like they know some things. They're really wise. And I'm hearing that it's like they might not have the same kind of communication skills. I'm hearing for some of y'all, it's like, that's what this is. It's like a time difference, because this is like, hearing this is like a 7-hour time window. It's like, well, by the time you're like getting up, I'm like in the ground dead. You know, I'm done. I'm done for the day or whatever it is. And so I'm hearing for some of y'all, it's just like sluggish trying to have communication like that, because a sun person wants to be open. Everything is like out in the open. And it's like, even if you don't want to talk to me, it's like, I'm just being it. It's like, it's broadcasting. The energy speaks for itself. I'm kind of like that, you know, in some ways. So, you know, I'm sort of being animated with you about it. Page of Pentacles person, that might be a person of very few words. If they say anything, that's maybe somebody that will, you know, you can look them in the eye and ask them a question and they'll just like look at you and say nothing, you know. That's that kind of person. And that's just how they are sometimes. And so, you know, that might be who you've been dealing with. They can be stubborn too. So, you know, count on it. Count on them to be stubborn. Especially if it's the Taurus or the Virgo. I mean, well, the Capricorn's going to be, they're just going to be stubborn. They're going to be really stubborn. I'm going to pull another card here. We've got some other cards here for you. Oh, man. But you definitely, you have one of these. Tiger's Eye would be great for you right now. Especially if you're also dealing with money situations, I'm hearing. It's a really lucky stone for you to carry right now. So, get a Tiger's Eye if you would like. Let's take a look at your Tarot Sexual Magic card, shall we? So we've got the Two of Swords. And this is like, I'm hearing if it... This the demure person again, I'm hearing in some cases it's like, see, somebody's making an offer and the other person's like turning away. If you notice, it's like, she's kind of like almost sitting on that sword. See that sword? It's like under her legs there. She's got her hat off. She's not wearing a hat. She's turning away from the offer. And she's got the sword under her legs. It's like, what's going on here, lady? It's like, she wants to be a little more open, but she's kind of like hiding her communication. And look where she's putting it. And, you know, he's coming after her with a flower. And so I'm hearing for some of y'all, this is just not knowing how to say yes to things. And I'm hearing it has a lot to do with the dark thoughts. I'm hearing that for some of you all, it's like wondering if there's somebody else. And that's what this dark bird is here. It's like these dark birds that are here. And I'm hearing that that's been like the thing, because Two of Swords energy is like being faced with these ideas and just being like, sometimes like, I'm not ready to make this decision, or just kind of being like quiet. Mum's the word is what I'm hearing. And it's like trying to not make a decision that doesn't feel right in your head. And so I'm seeing these black birds, and then, you know, we see this black bird right here behind them that's eating. It's eating stuff, if you notice that. So it's like it's consuming space and ideas, and it's like I'm hearing for her why she isn't able to talk and why she hides it, but she's also open at the same time. And so, and that could be him too. But if you feel like you made an offer, I'm hearing it's like they were covering up for some reason. And it's weird because here there's a face covered up, but here it's like somebody has taken their hat off. She's actually kind of scantily clothed. She's like taking her clothes off. She's like not necessarily taking her clothes off, but it's like, you know, her dress is like moved up on her leg here. Up, you can see her thighs. So she's got that knife there. The knife's got this, look at the sword. It's got this snake. It's coiled up around where you hold it. And so it's like taking a control over communication. And I'm hearing for some of y'all, you're gonna know if this was somebody just being controlling with you, because for some of you all, this is absolutely what it was. Because if you're the one that was showering this other person, like I'm hearing like showering, like it wasn't just like, hi, I want to meet you, or hi, let's talk, or whatever, and the person didn't know how to reply and was like having dark thoughts, wondering if you were dating someone else, because that's a totally different situation. If you were the situation where it's like you were showering on somebody and they might have been cheating on you, for instance, it's like they just knew that they could hide their tools. They could like put things a certain way. I just see them like kind of propping themselves up a certain way, where they knew that they could get this mechanical response from you, where it was like, well, here's where he puts the token in, or like, here's where she does that, or because I'm hearing for some of you, it's like, well, here's where she pays for the rent. Well, here's where she pays for my cell phone bill. Well, here's where she does that. And I'm hearing for somebody, that was the situation. And I'm hearing for somebody else, it's like, you know, you might have been with that person for a while, because they're showing me it's like, if you met when you were like 19 and you were married like 7 years or something, it's like, I'm hearing that's your story. But for somebody else, it's just like not knowing what to do. And it's, I hear that both of you might feel kind of the same way about one situation, where it's like, I hear that they might think that they actually had extended themselves to you and that you turned away. And you guys might have a miscommunication about that. It's just like the communication was just not clear. It was like muddy. I'm hearing it was just murky. But I'm hearing that if that's the case, it's like you actually feel like that too, because it's like you actually are the one I'm hearing that's been extending yourself or being more open, and you feel like they kind of were turning away. And so I just see it being like bad communication here. And in some situations, it's like the amount of light that one person was putting out versus the amount of light the other person was putting out. I'm not saying that the quality wasn't good. It's just that in one situation, the person was less confident about how they were doing that. And that's this person here. Okay, so let's see if we can get a little more information with the Love Oracle cards. All right, we've got camera. Oh, wow, isn't that fascinating? We've been talking about the cam era and all the cams being on, but I'm hearing this is like, for some of you all, just coming to grips, if you feel like you've been creating this relationship more on like social media pictures and like getting too attached to ideas than something real. So I'll show you the card here. It's literally a picture of a camera. And see if we can see what that says. It says reminiscing, keepsake, perception, learn from the past, and make memories. And I'm hearing for some of you all, it's like going through that stuff. If this has been a rough 2 years and this was your relationship coming to an end, I'm hearing for some of you, it's like deciding what books to burn. I'm hearing for somebody else, it's just like just realizing that it's like you haven't gotten anywhere with this person. It's been like a stalemate, and they haven't made any effort at all, or feeling just like they haven't made any effort at all, and that like only memories you have are like things you're probably gonna see in one of those things in like a year on Facebook where it was like, oh, 2 years ago, you know, you wrote this or you wrote that, and you'll have like a memory of them like that, but it'll just be like, well, that was just me learning how to swipe my way through an understanding of what a relationship doesn't look like due to poor communication is like what I'm hearing. I'm hearing it's like how your camera phone is going to educate you through that one. Yeah, interesting. And I'm not getting anything else on that. I'm just hearing it's like more clear perception, like just having a lens on it. Like if you take a selfie of yourself and can actually look at yourself. Let's see if we can get a little bit of advice from the Queen of the Moon. So we've got hot moon. This is extremes. I'm hearing for some of you all, this is like, I heard hot rock therapy. This is number 34. For some of you, that number is especially relevant. Could have been, you know, a birthday or numbers of relevance. That's actually a 7 when you add it, which is sometimes about timing, and you have a 7 here, the 7 of Swords, so maybe 7-7 is important to you. We've got this 19. It's kind of like a swinging door. I'm just kind of seeing like it's like making decisions. Sometimes 2 is like inability to make decision, like 2 of Swords. It's like having thoughts that just keep you in a stalemate. And then we've got this camera. So it's like, how are we looking at this? What kind of memories are you making in a situation where you might have been driven to extremes? Because this hot moon here can also be passions and things. And so I'm hearing for some of you all, you're going to have to know if this is the case, because for some of you all, this was just a very passionate situation. You might have a very extreme attraction with this person, especially with the sun, if you see them like that, or if they have strong Leo in their chart, is what I'm hearing. Because this is a hot moon, that is a naked man there. You might also need some spot treatment, though. I'm hearing like back rub would be great. Be nice. You see that somebody that's like reading a book under a full moon too? I'm hearing this is like possibly just a very magical person. You might have a really magical connection with this person, and I'm hearing, especially if it was like a relationship you were in, you might have just been really almost like addicted to each other is what I'm hearing. But I'm hearing that if that was the case, it was like they might have been more after your money these past 2 years, and you might be feeling like there were a lot of mistakes there, is what I'm hearing. Lots of mistakes. And it just like being a shutdown situation where some of you all might have just felt like, you know, you're driven to extremes there. And I'm just hearing, if that's the case, please take care of yourself. Please make sure you're not burning yourself out, because I hear that you might be like throwing yourself into work and things that you do, just like shining your light. And just make sure that you're also doing things to nourish yourself right now. Especially if you feel like you got injured, and I'm really sorry if you lost a friend, because that 7's coming up again. And I'm hearing for somebody, it was like, might even just be like you have like some kind of anniversary in July or something about a loss, and It could also be a Leo sign too, so you're just gonna have to know which one is you. But I will say, with this hot moon extremes and this page of pentacles, because for some of you, this might just be a relationship that didn't get conversation at all. I'm hearing it's like no conversation happened, it was stalemate, and you know, they were looking one way, you're looking the other way, and I'm hearing they might have been getting screwed over by somebody too at the time. I'm hearing they might be the one that's being driven to extremes, especially if their money is in question right now. I'm hearing their money might be in question for some reason. Not that it's like bad, but I feel like they might be like questioning what they're doing. I see somebody like willing to go on a limb is what I'm hearing. And it's like they're questioning whether or not it's like they're willing to continue, because they might start feeling like, especially if they were subjugated or like injured by some people around them, I'm hearing it's like they almost feel like they're already out on that limb, and it's like, who's willing to be here with me? And I'm feeling like they might be in this hot moon extreme situation where they're revamping how they're looking at things. They might be moonlighting or doing things at night. I'm hearing they might take a night shift or try to do things to make more money, because they might feel like whatever they were doing for money might not be adding up right now. And I'm hearing it might just be like a time where they're really driven to make some changes, especially if they have Taurus anywhere like strong in their chart, because of Taurus being retrograding Uranus right now. It's like setting alarms off everywhere. Thank you for advanced home security. Great bioenergetic feedback everywhere. But I'm hearing for some people, it's like, you know, really being pushed to make some changes that otherwise they would not be able to do. And I'm hearing if that's the case, it's like one of the best things you can do is know that you're like a mirror with everybody, and keep that in mind with camera, because everything has been recorded always. And this is the time of bioenergetic awakenings in the cam era. All right, I hope this has been helpful to those of you that wanted this reading. This was the first reading, the one for the beautiful tiger's eye. And I'm going to go ahead and end this one here. And hopefully this neighbor will get to their car. I might take a break and run out there and make sure everything's okay. We'll catch you on the next one if you want to stick around for the next reading. If not, thanks so much for being here. Thank you for your thumbs ups. If you haven't done that already, really appreciate it when you do that, and subscribe. If you would like your own reading, my information is below, or I can take a look with just your energies. Thanks for being here. Hi loves! So, if you picked the red jasper, these are your cards here. And like I mentioned, if you're interested in any of these decks, I've got them all linked below. These are the shadowscapes here on the top row. The first one is for you. This third one is for them. The center one is your disposition and your shared relationship vibe, if you will. And then this is from the Tarot of Sexual Magic. This is the Love Oracle card, and this is the advice card from the Queen of the Moon Oracle. So, like I said, if you're interested, links are below. Let's go ahead and get started with your card. You have the Knight of Swords. Get you a nice good look at that art. Okay. Their card this is the Five of Swords. Your relationship vibe, your disposition, excuse me, is the Knight of Wands. Okay, so real quick, I'm hearing it got heated, and you're gonna know if they were not being very fair, is what I'm hearing. I'm hearing for some of you all, this is especially true if, okay, because there are different people that I'm seeing, I will say first of all. With you having the Knight of Swords here and them showing up with this Five of Swords, a lot of times this kind of mental energy is going to have to deal with swords style energy in your charts, whether or not it's you or them. I mean, but very clear that there's somebody that is most likely a Gemini, a Libra, or an Aquarius here. And I'm hearing Gemini and I'm hearing Taurus a lot here too for some reason. So I'm hearing this person. It might just be also because it's a 5, or they might be on the cusp or something, but I'm hearing it's like for somebody, I'm definitely hearing that you're dealing with a Taurus person, whether or not they have air in their chart. Because I'm hearing for some of you all, especially, I don't know why I'm hearing this. I'm hearing, especially if you're dealing with a Taurus that does not speak a lot, it's like they play a mental game is what it is. And I'm hearing it's like some weird sort of strategy thing. I'm hearing they might even be like being reevaluated because of benefits fraud or something that they thought they were going to get away with doing. It was something bad. But I'm hearing overall, it's like if this is a person that has a lot of air in their, a lot of earth in their chart, I'm hearing it's like they play mental games with you. And so it's like, I'm hearing you can't tell if the penny is up with them or not. And it's like something about like how they play like they're really hard up, but it's almost like, you ever heard of those people that will pretend like they have an injury and they go out and panhandle, but they're making like, you know, onwards of like $80,000 a year from panhandling in the right places? It's like, I'm hearing it's like they might have something like that going on, whether or not you knew it. And I'm hearing they might be like wanted in 2 different states for it, actually. Wow, that is crazy. That can't be for everybody. But your guides are being really generous about that. And for some of you all, you dodged a bullet. I'm hearing it got heated for the right reason. Foxes are on the run here, and I heard hot fox on the run, and it's like they might be able to get away with it some places because it's like how good looking they are. They're like really cunning is what it is. But okay, it was karmic, you know, and that's part of what's been going on, honey. It's like with the sweep that's been going on energetically, and now especially with Mercury having been in the pre-shadow of this retrograde that's actually happening on tomorrow, 31st, because at the time of this recording it's a minute before 6 p.m. on Wednesday, October the 30th. And so it's like the magnet that Mercury is really close to us. It's in between the Earth and the Sun. And so it's like, it's almost like dragging people towards you that haven't been in your particle range in a while because of how those magnets work, okay? And so sometimes you have to like run into these people places, and it's like, even if you didn't want to, it's like they come back up in the shuffle. So some of y'all just need to be aware of that. It's not like, it's really nothing so mystical, I think, as like some people like to make it. It's all so mystical, it's so much of mystery. Not really. It's like scientifically proven like why particles move, and you know, if you stick magnets together a certain way, they're gonna smack into each other. Other ways, they're gonna run the other way. You know, it's just about electron charges and stuff. And so, hate to take the sexy out of it, but you might be re-encountering a knucklehead around this time frame for some of you all, just because I'm hearing they might make cycles. And for some of you all, you just need to know that if you keep it short with them, it's a great thing to do. Because I'm hearing for some of you all, this Knight of Swords is actually you. And you might not think it's you because maybe you don't have a lot of swords in your chart. Maybe you're not like Gemini, Libra, Aquarius or anything, but I'm hearing it's like you might be able to communicate like that right now and be very direct about what you need and what you want. And you're going to have the gift of that. And in some cases, it's going to be short and to the point. And sometimes you're going to know how to cut somebody off without being abrasive, maybe a little curt. And it's okay. It's okay. I want you to look at this art here again. This person showing up on this card. I mean, if I had to be any of the knights, that's the only one I could ever be. You know, this is the one that went all the way. That's the one that fights his own battles. It's the one that will be covered in scars like me, you know? And so it's like, this is the guy that goes, and he'll take the right steps. Some of these other knights, although they'll make it, it's like they get propped up by other people. They don't always have to do their own work. And I'm hearing for you, that might kind of be an issue right now. Because it's like, especially if you know somebody was trying to get away with something here. Because that person might have had some options that they were accessing that you did not know about. And I'm hearing, especially if it was like somebody you were really attracted to, it's like, you know, it might have just been all you needed for that time. But I'm hearing for some of you all too, it's going to be a weird thing if you find out that that person has like somewhere between 2 to 5 other children, other places. Wow, okay, here. I'm going to knock the guitar off on that one. But yeah, I'm hearing it. And not that that's like anything to be ashamed of. It's just, it might be a surprise if somebody isn't being honest with you. You know, a lot of people have 2 to 5 kids. It's just what the situation is, why people might be doing that, what kind of relief they're trying to get. Because I'm hearing you might find out something weird about like the mother of like 2 of the kids, where it's like, I'm hearing he might be like going back and like trying to ask her for alimony and stuff, and like making up some weird story about how his lifestyle is less without them, and trying to get her to pay and instead of paying for things like child support. And so you're gonna know if this is like a sport with this person, because I'm hearing if they're wanted in like 2 states, you're gonna find out it's like this person has some kind of weird sports addiction, or some kind of addiction that they treat something like a sport. And so I'm just gonna be tactful on that one and just walk away from it and spray, because for some of you all it's like you dodged a real with that one. And so get out of here, get out of here. She can do much better. Ciao. So, let's see what else we got, because I'm hearing totally different story for some of you all on these same cards. I'm hearing about somebody that was having a major situation. It's like they couldn't have been right for being wrong, is what it is. It's like, you know, they're gonna be like, they can't even get that right because of the situation that they were in, where it's like, I don't know how else to say that. It's like they were being faulted no matter what they did. It's like no matter whether they got it right, they were being faulted. If they got it wrong for people, they got faulted. People would say they were doing it wrong, even though it was like they already knew they were doing it wrong. It was just like a bad situation is what I'm hearing. It's like, can't win for losing. What's that you know, that saying? It was something like that. And I'm hearing that like with that person, that's more like accurate of what this 5 of Swords is, because it's like for them, I'm hearing it's not like they were doing anything bad here. I'm hearing that they were just sort of in a very combative place, that they were coming out of the situation. I see them like trying to like hoist or leverage themselves, levitate themselves, but they're not like stepping on anybody, but they're ready to take a shot. I'm hearing it's like they're ready to execute on whatever they need to do, and they might have been a little bit, if they weren't argumentative, they might have been like prone, or I'm hearing high strung. They might be just like a little high strung about how they communicate. And I'm hearing for them, it's like, it's kind of like coming back from the dead, you know? It's like, I mean, I can relate to this as somebody that literally was. And then, you know, when you come out and it's like, when you can communicate again, you get to work, you do things. It's like a rebirth sort of energy here. I don't always see the 5 of Swords like that. This is somebody that's prepared, though, to stand up for whatever they need to do. And they aren't just cutting things out. I mean, they're showing a temperance. Like the guy's got his hand here. Like, I don't know if you can see that very well. And let's say the guy, you know your own gender, whether or not this is you, she, he, they, other. That can be anybody. But whoever this person is, see, you know that sword in their hand. They're ready to cut. They're ready to say something. They're ready to communicate. They're kind of like floating up in the air, like running in the air with the birds. The birds have swords, but it's like they have backup now, is what it is. And they're showing temperance. It's like they know how to do something to cut something away, because what happens after this is like the trip that gets taken. It's like where things get initiated, where you get your riding partners with you. And I'm hearing for this person, they might be like on the brink of something is what I'm hearing. And it might be something about their own emotional security. I'm seeing a lot of yellow all around this. There's like yellow clouds around this person here and around the birds. But I'm hearing it's like a birds of a feather thing, and that some of the situation that's been going on with them, especially if you guys are really attracted to each other, because I'm hearing for you, it's like, I haven't even gotten to this Knight of Wands yet, but the Knight of Wands is like one of the more sexy, passionate cards, you know? I'm hearing for some of you all, it's there because you both might have that person in common. I'm hearing that that might actually be a competitive situation somehow. But for others of you, I mean, this is just like, it's symbolic of a really strong chemistry. And that's like energetic compatibility on a physical level. So if you're having like sex or like an intimate physical relationship with somebody, that's like one where the connection's really hot, you know, you're like super stimulating for each other. And I'm hearing for you, if it's like a mutual attraction like that, it's like you really think highly of this person. It's like you might actually have better thoughts about them than they have about themselves right now, is what I'm hearing. It's like, because they're kind of like in this defensive posture where they're not at rest because they're in between phases is really what it is. It's like Four of Swords energy is a little bit more like restful. You're like meditative. It's not moving. 5 is like having to move. It's like taking a cartwheel and having to move from here to there. And then 6 is actually taking that journey. 6 is like it's a movement, but there's a cutting away from what was harder to something better. And so that's kind of where they are. They're like at that point where they're deciding, well, am I going to cut this one or not? And so some of this is about you just knowing what kind of approach is going to work. And I'm hearing for some of you all, it's going to be physical, you know. This has been a physical thing, and they might not have had the words to tell you. And I'm hearing too that it's like, if there's enough emotional wounding there, it's almost like you're going to have to better rely on, they're telling me your 3 other senses. You're going to know whether or not that makes sense to you. For somebody, that's a very specific message, but I'm hearing your 3 other senses with this person. And there's a risk for some of you. If this isn't a relationship where there is a lot of like physical compatibility, because I'm hearing if there's a lot of physical compatibility here, that you're just going to love knowing what this Knight of Wands is all about, because this is like, wow, this is somebody riding the beast. It's like, you know, it's the big fiery cat there with the horns, and the one that knows what to do with the passions. And sometimes it's a quick thing that'll happen. It's just like, wow, we see each other and the passion just swoops up and they're in each other's arms, and it's a fertile time. So if you're the kind of configuration that could make more, it's very likely that it happens there, okay? And if that's not what you want, you know, the hand's up for a reason, know what to do. But I'm hearing for some of you, it's like, if this is an argumentative thing, if this was a situation where there might have been stepping out, or where you find out something, it's like, if you find out they were living like 2 or 3 is what I'm hearing. It's not even 2, because they're saying it's not a double life with somebody. It's literally like 2 or 3 different lives that they have. It's like he changes his shirt is what I'm hearing, and then he like goes and does something else. Like, I'm hearing that for somebody. It's like it's some kind of weird act or something. It's like, I don't know if it's like the dad act, and then he like panhandles because then he's the dad. He's like, I showed up, I'm wearing the shirt, you know, like, what do I get, you know? But I mean, they're kind of showing it to me like that. It's not for everybody, but I'm hearing that if it's a situation, at least, where the person has not been honest with you, there's a couple different ways this could go. And what you consider honest might be different than what they do, because sometimes I'm hearing you might be one of those people that's just like, tell me now, and you just expect that everybody should tell you everything. And if that's the case, it's like, that's really not very respectable, or like, that might actually be how this person is too. I'm hearing somebody might be like that, where it's like they think that just because they want to know that it's like they're entitled to it, you know, and it's like a hostile sort of thing. And I'm hearing where it's coming from might not be like a bad thing. It's not like they're doing it to be bad or doing it to be mean or controlling. It's just it's turned into that with them. They might have been doing that out of a defensive reason, maybe because of what they had to overcome. And where it's like things can pathologize with people and they can get really bad, and then they can actually build up enough reservoir of like whatever it is that has been kind of like tokenized with them. It's like, you know, it's something they get away with, and it just piles up, and then all of a sudden you've got this thing that this person just does on autopilot. And I'm hearing that, come here, Jolly, she's driving me nuts here, baby. Wow. Say hi. Okay, I've got a little girl here. Settle down, my darling. That it's almost like something has pathologized with them. It's like whatever the situation is that they've overcome, I don't want to say that they use it like a crutch, but it's almost kind of like it's a show, and they can get, you know, they can get more because of it somehow. And so I'm hearing it's like you might have been thrown off because it's like, what else did I not see about you, right? Or like, how did I not understand that, is what I'm hearing for some of you all. And I'm hearing that, especially if you had an argument with them, they're saying May was a big deal. And that you might just not feel like dealing with them if they come back, because I'm hearing they might have like two different reasons why they try to approach you even right now during like this Mercury retrograde season. It happens, you know, people come back in the woodworks with that magnet moving thing. So let's get some good energy on that, because I'm hearing if you feel like being short with them, just know it's for the right reason, and you don't have to get all swept up in their story, is what it is. Because I'm hearing that they might come back with something creative that they want to talk to you about. It's like I kind of see them just trying to like move in, and it's like, but like they're sending rats your way is what I'm hearing. It's like, I heard rats. They're sending rats your way. And so just like, know if you've been dealing with somebody that poisoned it with you before, it's like, you know, it's like tainted love, right? And for some of you all, that's what it is. So anyway, I'm not going to dwell on that too much. Let's go ahead and see what the Tarot of Sexual Magic has to show us. All right, so, well, that's fascinating. We have got the Sun card showing up. So for the one that, obviously, this is a card of illumination in like any traditional sort of sense, but this is a very non-traditional deck. This is a lover's deck, and we see this couple that's in broad daylight in their yard. It's partially fenced, and they're in an embrace. They're being lovemaking. This is also a very leonine card for me. Perhaps somebody has Leo in their chart. But I'm hearing for some of you all, especially if this is like the aftermath of this person having overcome something, this is like nonverbal communication happening between you, and it just being a sign that you're going to know if you have enough good reasons to be together with this person. If you see them like they're your light in a certain way, or you've been sending them light, because I'm hearing for some of you all, this Five of Swords, it's not argumentative with you. It's like them knowing they're willing to stand up even if they weren't seeing themselves very clearly, or like maybe they had like a self-esteem issue. It's like somebody was taking shots. It's like they had to get up out of bed, because I'm hearing for some of them this is like after a recovery period. Because sometimes I see that Four of Swords, especially when somebody is like around dark energy and dark birds that are now their accomplices here, you know, and they're all surrounded with yellow. It's like they're healing together. And so I'm hearing for some of you, if you've been sort of like sending Reiki, or maybe you like do prayers, or, you know, they kind of did, or maybe that's something you guys were doing together, because I'm hearing it might have been like, if it wasn't long distance, it was kind of at a distance. You kind of, you know, I'm hearing if there were a couple of false starts with you, like 2 false starts, they're saying 2 false starts, that it's like, now is the better timing because they're feeling more healed. And this is seriously like nonverbal communication. This is like you two picking a spot to get together. And I'm hearing that for some of you, if you haven't communicated in a long time, it's like, it might be just like a real hold me vibe, and it could be very passionate. I'm hearing for some of you all, it's like how you end up getting together. It's just trying to bridge that communication. And I'm hearing for you, if you're the one on this side here, you are in the better position to bridge a communication with them. I'm hearing if this is a situation where, you know, it wasn't the argumentative one, it's just like the healing vibe, whatever you open up to them, it's like they're going to be super receptive. I see them just like already like wanting to kind of like rush you with their energy. So, and know that too, because if this is like the negative situation, the one where it's like, you know, it's just argumentative, the sun is not you two making love. Just know that. I mean, you're going to have to know whether or not this is like, these are specific. All right, so a little bit of more information, because we have the Love Oracle card here. And I love this. Look, you actually got the love card. Unconditional love, self-love, oneness, passion, affection, attraction. Some of you all are in for a really beautiful love here with this person. Let's see if we can get that it's a little bit blurry right now. Bless you, baby. Ah, there you go. Some of these are a little harder to read. The paint job is ombre, and so sometimes it's a little dark. But yeah, this is passion here for some of you. And I'm hearing it's like whatever they went through, whatever it is, especially if it's like if they're recovering from an illness, because I'm hearing for some of you all, this is like they might have had to stop doing certain things, and it's like they're just learning how to like get up again. It's almost like they're just new, is what I'm hearing. If they had a health problem or something, I'm praying. I just want you to know that for whoever they are. I'm hearing that it's like this communication, especially if you're willing to like, I'm hearing pick up a pen and write, because I'm hearing they might be somebody like me that like enjoys like writing letters to people and stuff. It's like, I'm hearing if this is like, if they're this kind of person, or I'm hearing if they're a little slower, because it's like, I don't mean slower like a bad thing, but like a little slower to act, you know, like they take their time. Anything you do, I'm hearing like text message. I'm hearing it's like, especially if you did it on social media. I heard especially. It's like, I hear you've been thinking about it. There's like 2 or 3 different places you've been thinking about going, and they're saying there's like 2 different places here. You guys might actually be in common. Maybe you have 1/3 one in mind that they don't know. But I'm hearing that it's like you're bridging it. They show you with your pen or with your sword ready to go here, and it's like, I don't know if you were like picking up your phone and thinking about calling or texting or something like that, but it's like you're ready to go. I'm seeing like somebody like getting in their car and ready to be like, I don't care if it's 6 hours, I'll drive. I'll go drive to him. I'll drive to her. And I'm seeing that person, like whoever that is, ready to go. And that if you approach them, it's like just a magnetic attraction that's going to happen. I feel really good about it too. Let's go ahead and see if we can get this advice here from the Queen of the Moon Oracle cards. Oh, look at that. Self-love, number 6, waxing crescent 4. Look at this gorgeous art. Look at that. Oh, that's beautiful. So I'm hearing for some of you, this is like also a reflection of what I was saying, like you helping them with their self-love somehow. It's like something about how you see them and how you communicate that really makes them feel good, especially if they've had to like fight for things. I'm hearing it's like they didn't have it easy. Not that anybody needs to have it easy, but I'm hearing they might have had it a lot harder than other people, especially if it was like recently due to a health situation. They're telling me that for somebody, it's like really it was about health situation, and it's like learning how to feel good too. They're like covering up here, and it's like I don't know if she's like, I'm hearing for somebody it's like she had a surgery and she's very, very she's self-conscious about it. It's like I don't know if she had a cut, but I'm hearing mitral valve prolapse and like I don't know if she had like a pacemaker or something, but I'm hearing it's like her idea of beauty and your idea of beauty might be different. And I think that sometimes it's like, I know it's really difficult for women too, and where it's like, I can even just say like as a guy that is attracted to women, it's like, there are things that you sometimes would think or maybe want to say that it's a slippery slope when you're qualifying somebody else's physical appearance with your words, and so sometimes it's just not wanted. And I'm hearing that whatever the vibe is between you all, it's like it's actually helping them though. It's like how you're doing it, it's in a really good way where they don't feel as guarded. It's like, you know, they're feeling the love. And so whatever it is there, I hear that, you know, just being expressive in that way and just saying, I mean, like, look, self-love showed up here, right? And then if you look at this card, you know, this one also says self-love. You haven't it like shown up twice, like a lot, with very passionate energy. I hear that it's just potentially a very healing time, and that you might really love red jasper, especially mine. That's kind of a heart shape over here. I don't know. What do you think? Let me know. I would really love to hear your opinions and hear if you liked it, what you thought about the reading. If you would be interested in having one with just your energies on it too, that's my information. You can actually order one from me. My information's also below. And I would love to hear from you. Let me know what you think. It really helps when you leave comments because I can also connect positive energy to you and just share some more. So hopefully you'll leave me a comment below. I'd love to hear. And if not, well, we'll catch you again soon. We're back for another one. Thank you for being here. Hi, love. So you must have picked the Indigo Gabbro stone. And this is what your board looks like here. Excuse me. Actually, let me go ahead and get you a closer look. How about that? All right, let's do that. So, I can't remember if I mentioned it or not. If you are interested in any of these decks, please feel free to look below in the description. I have links to them at Amazon. You'll find a really good deal. This first row is the Shadowscapes deck. The first card is you. The third card is them. The center is like what you have in common. It is your disposition. Then we have the Tarot of Sexual Magic, the Love Oracle cards, and the Queen of the Moon Oracle card is sort of an advice card. Okay, excuse me. Let's go ahead and get started with yours. All right. Your card, get it nice and close so you can see it. This is the Moon. Number 18. We're going to look at their card. Right here. Wow. Their card is the Ace of Cups. All right, and let's see what your relationship disposition card is. Wow. This is the Four of Wands. This is incredible. What a beautiful energy, you guys. Some of you all might not realize it yet, though, because I hear you might be really swept up if this is you here. This is a major arcana card here, the Moon. And in this deck, especially, I think it's very romantic. It's a very romantic card. It's somebody who's kind of speaking to the one that they've been calling in. And it's almost like, although they're looking at the mask, and for some people this is coming face to face with illusions that you might have had, having to look at those things up close and realize where the illusions have been. Especially if you've been encumbered by substances in some way. But what I'm hearing is, for some of you, though, this is very, very romantic. It's like you have this way that you've been creating or architecting the one that you would like to have in your life. And so for some of y'all, this is about your intentional work. This is about your priestess nature. And some of you all, this is like you really sort of exalting yourself in that sort of like high priestess energy, and where you've cultivated that. I'm getting a lot of like Empress vibes with this too. It's sort of like a creative, fertile vibe that she has. But it's like something is being released at the same time. And so for some of you all, this is also speaking to, I'm hearing Pisces a lot with this one. Sometimes it's, Scorpio with me too, with this energy. But whatever it is, my dear, it's so much, there's so much energy within it is the thing, that even if you don't really feel like it's happening right now, there's so much energy that it actually completely changes your position somehow. And you might not see that yet. Sometimes these things take a while. Like this could even be like 18 months or something, like a year and a half. I'm hearing for some of you all, it's like, because it's a year and a half that has passed, or what has happened in that year and a half. And I'm hearing it's something about infancy or delayed infancy, or these are just words that I'm hearing from some of your guides. You're going to know whether or not they're for you. But I'm hearing for those of you that have been doing intentional work, especially if you practice things like astral projection, or if you have been doing manifestation techniques of various different kinds. There's so many different ways to be that, where you don't necessarily have to conjure it, I'm hearing for some of you all, this is like you just realizing what parts of even that experience are working for you. Because I'm hearing for some of you all, it's like scaling back, that this, whatever this relationship is that's happening here with this other person, I'm hearing it is so, there's an essential vibe to it that you can't really spoil it with too many words, is the thing. It's like there's a spiritual nature here for sure. And I'm feeling for some of you all, it's like you might have so many tools and experiences and like guides. I'm seeing like guides and assistants here. Got all these magic mushrooms here. Maybe you know some people that are all hopped up on that stuff in Colorado right now. Or maybe you work with other kinds of medicinal mushrooms and things. But I'm hearing this is like spirit journey work. And if you notice here, around her feet, there are little guides there. She has sprites. They're working with her. and also in the air, her familiars, her essentials. And so for some of you all, it's like you've had so many of these things around you, or maybe so much exposure to different kinds of opinions or schools of thought, and like I'm hearing people just like pandering to you. I'm gonna make you a master of this. You're gonna be a master of that. Master this. Master that. It's all this like spiritual mastery nightmare crap, right? And how some of you are just like looking at this thing, like staring at it in the face and being like, you know what? This one person over here is like, not to epitomize them, but they're really the shit, you know? And it's like, you're looking at it now like, am I insane for feeling this about them? And I'm feeling like if this is you, it's like, you're ready to drop some shit. I'm hearing like dropping some bullshit, even just dropping some things and just being like, some of this stuff is just like passe, and it's just like people marketing things and like trying to pander to you and just realizing it. And I'm hearing, I mean, you might even have a job. You might do something like I do. I mean, most of my clients are other intuitives, to be honest with you. And so it's like, yay for sticking together and like sharing good information with each other, because I think some of us have been cutting off things, you know. And so I can relate to this. I had this moon card show up similar like this for me recently. I'm hearing for some of y'all, it's just realizing that some of this stuff, it was like things that helped you to see this moment where you're really realizing that whatever you called in might have shown up, and that you might even be able to release some stuff to make room for this. And some of you are going to have to, because whoever this is the Ace of Cups. That chalice there. And the Piscean nature almost of these two little fish, the two little koi in the water, doing a little swirl, and they almost look like, that's what the Cancerian moon looks like, but it looks like the Piscean fish. And anyway, this is speaking to water element in people's charts. Could be Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. And if not, it's like the gift of love. It's the seed of a new beginning that happens in an emotional way. It's something of an emotional nature. And if you look very closely, it is so wonderful, because it's like, there's really like couples everywhere is what I'm seeing. It's like, I can't, let me see here. I'll get it up close. Everybody's coupled. There's two right here. There's two right here. There's two right here. There's two right here. Two right here. And then there's like two little beings right here swimming together. And that's what it is. These two right here are like two little beings sitting on the cup together. And it's just showing how this one cup, this one water, is shared with a special friend. And this is the kind that looks like it's coming this way, because the direction of the energy is all pointing towards this moon. And what's here in the middle is this Four of Wands, and it's these two couples getting together. This is sometimes my marriage proposal, like these two together, Ace of Cups and Four of Wands. I'm hearing for some of you all, it's like, does he love me? Does he love me not? And it's like, I hear for some of you all, it's like, it seems like it's too good to be true is the thing. And so some of you all might have been really attracted to this stone for a reason. I'm just going to hold it up here for you and show you closely what indigo gabbro looks like. This is a rough cut of stone from Madagascar. When it's been polished, almost looks kind of purple and gray, right? It's known as Mystic Merlinite once it's been polished. This is one of my favorite pieces of all time. This specific actual cut, this particular one, I work with these a lot when I do Reiki and different kinds of shamanic energy healing, and this particular stone is so stabilizing. And I'm hearing for some of you all, that might be a really good style of energy to keep around yourself during this season. At the time of this recording, it's 7:24 p.m. in Tenbren, Kraxistan on the 30th of October. And so it's like we're going into Mercury retrograde on tomorrow. And so for the next several strong, like to set you up for weeks, we're going to have that big magnet, Mercury, between the Earth and the Sun, and it literally pulls things into our vicinity. I'm hearing for some of y'all, that might be what's tripping you out. You're like, oh my God, what if he asked me to, and it's Mercury retrograde, and like all that kind of stuff. And so some of y'all are freaking out for the right reason, but please know, sometimes Mercury retrograde is not like a hex on you. It's just, it depends on what kind of stuff you have going on in your life too, because if it's a karmic relationship, it's always going to be a karmic relationship. You know? Some people do better during Mercury retrograde. Some of my good friends that are intuitives, especially I even have a couple that are like Pisces, they love it when Mercury is retrograde because it's like they know that everybody is already on the cuckoo, but it's like they're extra cuckoo and they just stay away from that and they go into the woo-woo and they do whatever they need to do. They make themselves a little hovel. It's a great time to hermit, do hermity things, work on your arts and stuff and your mediumship, and know that sometimes these things show up during these cycles because it's almost like, I hate to say past lives, but it's like parts of your energy being returned to you, parts of opportunities to connect things being returned, and you have to understand your cycles. And if you want more help with that, you might need a private reading. You can hit me up. My information is below. I would love to do one with just your information, just your private energy, and we can look at that too. This is a little bit more general, but I can tell you that overall, I would normally say pay close attention if something comes out of the blue, especially if you feel like you might be eluded. You know, Neptune has been writing a new song. The pen has been in reverse, if you will. And so some of the matters of Neptune, sort of like what the moon symbolizes, might be eluding you a little bit. It's possible. But that doesn't mean that this love isn't real and that a proposal that comes through here might not be good. And for some of you, excuse me, that's exactly what this is. Because I see somebody here, if it's not a formal, hey, will you marry me proposal, it's like, it's an offer of an emotional nature of a new beginning. And I think that you might be skeptical. It might be like, are you kidding me? You know, and like you might be like that. I see some of you being like that, honestly, especially if this is somebody that you might not know as long. I'm not saying it's like brand new or whatever, but I'm hearing it's like you definitely know them less than 4 years. And for some of you, it might be around 4 months. If it's only 4 weeks, if it's something like that, that's the one I would pay attention to. You know, maybe waiting it out and kind of realizing whether or not what kind of effect Mercury retrograde's boomerang was having on the energy and the level of impact it had in your life. Hopefully that makes sense to you. But Four of Wands energy, this is creative. This is like happy home. This is like piercing into the light is what I'm hearing. And it's kind of what these two look like they're doing with their unicorn horns. And they're like off prancing together on this hearth, but I love it. I feel like it's a really nice energy, and congratulations to those of you that are getting into a relationship. I hope that it's very loving, and work on your communications together too, because I'm getting a little bit of a warning on that, because it's kind of like what is this, water-ish energy, and it's strong here on this side, and then there's fire here, and it's like, make sure you're communicating. Make sure you're communicating all the ways that you can if you have an opportunity, because it looks like there's a good match here for me, is what I'm seeing. All right, let's see what the Tarot of Sexual Magic shows us here. Wow. So, I love this card. That right there is the 3 chalices. And it is definitely a saucy card. More cups, so that's more water here. And this is like kind of pregnancy vibe energy, to be honest with you. I mean, this is love making, this is passion, this is finding and making the time for each other. This is just being honest with somebody and keeping it simple. And I'm hearing for some of you, it's like, especially if you were waiting for a long time, this person wants to just make that offer. I just see them making that offer, and it might be so like, I'm hearing sort of like really down to earth how they do it, like really simple, like they just kind of put it out there and it's like, we're this, you know, and they're just showing you that you're a pair. And it's like, as soon as they do, I see this energy just kind of taking off. And so I'm hearing for some of you, if you have the configurations for it, this is the kind of energy where you could conceive children. And so congratulations if that's what you want, because you go straight from ace to 3. So, you know, that's kind of something. All right, so let's see what else we can find out, because we have our Love Oracle card here. Island Time Wellness. Wow, so we have the Dragonfly. And yeah, that's somebody that's fiery, passionate, ready to swoop in and just be lighthearted, finding out, things coming to light, adapt, change, heal. And here in Consummate, for some of you all, it's like something happening that just gives you what you need to change. And it's like, bibbidi boop, we are in the marriage hoop. And for some of you all, that's exactly what this is. Oh, it's making me giddy. It's like, did I get picked? That's what this is. And she's like, are you kidding? So it's really cool. It's really cute. All right, so let's see what kind of advice we have from the Queen of the Moon Oracle. Oh. Number 38, Hunter Moon, which recently just passed. That was our last full moon, right? And this one says abundance. And check out this art. She's with that fox. And all the features around. This is fertile energy. Really fertile. That's someone who's with pleasure to conceive or to share and to create more of as the gift. So, and all these little beings are like looking up at her like fascinated. And this is like the Empress energy that I was sensing over here that I was telling you about. And that's really what this card is like for me in this particular deck. If you hear that funny sound, my little girl is strapped on in the back of my chair and she's like snoring in her bag thing. So it's probably that in the storm. So sorry about that. But I am loving this energy. It's really feral vibe too. I'm hearing like some of you all, especially if you're like in this relationship, like outdoors things you can do together are going to be awesome. I don't know if it's warm where you are, but outdoor dates will be great. And this is just, I'm feeling swept up and I love it. And I just want to say best of luck with everything there. Hopefully this was for you if you wanted love, because for some of you all, that is exactly what's coming to pass. And I would love to hear about it. Let me know. I love your comments. So please drop me a comment. Let me know. Also helps me to connect positive messages to you. So definitely do that. Join our Discord community too. It's listed below. I've got a private little group where we're going to be doing some private offerings, our radio show and things like that, and just staying in better touch. And if you would like your own reading, hit me up right there. That's all my information. And also below, we can do them with just your energy. If I don't hear from you, take care. Know that I love you. Catch you again soon. We're back for another one. Bye for now.